everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to discuss another One Piece chapter review, chapter 1129, Live Dolls. I tried to review this chapter before, but due to some technical issues, I did not realize that I was muted for like the entire time I was doing the thing, so I ended up having to delete it and the video and delete because I ended up trying to do a very long summary, but yeah. I didn't want to start over again for just a 10-minute video with nothing going on. So I figured might as well do the live stream of the video. But basically, this chapter follows up the adventures of the Straw Hats as they reunite with Chopper, explore this Legoland set, if you will. Encounter a bunch of more animal guards and apparently allegedly face one of the sun gods, which looks like the skull head of one of the Holy Knights. Is it the Holy Knight or is it a different character? We're about to find out. But yeah. But before that chapter begins, let's see. We've got the cover story of the Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Silhouette Pilgrimage, Volume 16. Ninja training at Amiga's village, where we see Tama throwing her kunais with ninjas. She's got a bunch of bandages around her, but showing that she's working hard at ninjas. Where you got, I believe, Yamamoto on the top of, I believe it is, what's the dog's name? Oh, yeah, Komachio. As you got Shinobu sitting down training, though interestingly enough, Shinobu appears to be in her chubby form that we were introduced during the events of the chubby form in the events of a bit prior to Vice Admiral Ryoku Vice Admiral Ryoku draining up most of her I think fat, if you will, but she seems to be reverted back to that form, so I'm not sure if that means the effects have worn off over time, or if perhaps Oda just made an error in drawing there. But either way, we'll have to wait and see if it's going to be corrected in, I guess, the volumes or not. But if it's not, then it seems that Shinobu is back to her form here. But anyway, it's nice that Tama's training, because she did say she becomes a ninja, she would join the Straw Hats. Now, whether or not that actually happened in the actual modern day series, at the very best, you're probably going to get a epilogue with her joining the Straw Hats, possibly. But yeah. Anyway, it's just interesting just to get Tama back looking at where Tama's up to. I wonder if she's going to be one of those next missing victims, and then she drives Yamato to try and find who is kidnapping all these people. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see when it comes to that. Anyway, on to the actual chapter. It's where you got citizens trying to tell the sun god to please quell their anger, and panicking that flames are in the sky, thinking that the world's ending or the kingdom is doomed. As the sun god says, "You live dolls will pay for what you did to his room." Well, he tries to say room, but then quickly corrects himself to temple, and also pet, but then he quickly corrects to saying his servants, if you will. So arguably it's he's putting on a bit of a charade and parade, if you will, here, as Nami comments how he's freaky. I think Usopp or Chopper saying that maybe Zoro saying he looks like Zoro or Nami. I think it's Zoro or Chopper actually saying he looks more like a demon than a god. Usopp points Luffy to where the town is. Luffy realizes that they're all made of blocks and tells the cat that they've taken control of to jump. As people realize it's Lord Iskar, wondering what he's doing. Luffy tries to get the cat not to destroy all the buildings, saying that we got split without busting it, but the cat ends up breaking it, and he gets annoyed at the cat for what he just said. Then you get the sun god just going "Wait, Iskat, why are you helping them?" The cat's meowing. Usopp saying hitching a ride on the cat took us to the end of the world in no time. And he's Luffy's going no, it keeps on going and going. Nami just tosses the map aside, telling Luffy that she said, "Let's look at the schematics." Well, actually, Usopp is saying, "Look at the schematics," but as he does this, Nami has just thrown him away. But let's see, but Nami assures her that she's mesmerized it all, showing her skills as a navigator. As I think Nami points to Luffy that you can see the mirror door from earlier, and the clouds are just made of cotton, showing that they're sort of fake. And Zoro then saying it might look huge to us, but to a giant it's just a regular old room, hinting more that this is a giant rather than a god's night, if you will. And Zoro says this is just a regular old room, as Chopper says exactly. Sanji goes like, because all the walls are mirrors, no wonder the scenery seems to go on forever, sort of showing the illusion. And Nami says, so we reach the end in no time if we just keep going straight. Outer wall, showing a map of the outer wall, the world tree, mirrors, the town forest, Luffy's group with the cat, and the X marks arrow, and saying that we're already halfway across the Sword Coast Kingdom, as we saw like a bit of a map of like the outside of the fake kingdom set and inside the kingdom set. Anyway, I'm just gonna give my thoughts here on these first 3 pages of the chapter. Okay, first of all, I do like how the citizens are just trying to panicking and thinking that think the sun god is causing all kinds of this rage is causing all sort of panic and all that stuff, thinking that the world's ending, the sky is burning. Granted, these lot probably don't realize that I'm not sure these lot realize that they've been trapped, if you will. But yeah, I do like how we see that the sun god is trying to considers everyone here like live dolls, showing Ifuzum's toys, and going on about how this is his like temple or servants, but in fact it's just slipping up because it's now like he knows it's like all fake. It's not like it's just a room. It's just a bunch of pets he has. He's just causing people just to be trapped here. And I do like how the Straw Hats are starting to pay a bit more attention to how bit of a weird this guy is, or just like his appearance looking more demonic than godlike, if you will. Let's see. I do like how Luffy is trying to avoid. Trying to avoid damaging all the blocks of this little city building thing. And he is trying to get the cat to say, hey, don't break it. But the cat does end up breaking it and he gets annoyed, even though he'd probably destroy things just as bad, if not worse. So that's funny. I do like how the giant is just confused. The giant sun god is just confused about why his cat Iskar is helping them, not realize that they've taken them hostage, and also that Chopper can communicate with them. So yeah. But I do like how we got like the explanation how Luffy is still a bit confused about how this world is not really the end of the world. How this map is not how we're not in like an endless space but trapped in a room and needs a bit more explanation. But because it probably would take him a while to figure some of this stuff out. But I really like how we've got a bit of a navigation of skills with Nami here, where she doesn't need to look at the map for long, tosses it out, saying that she's mesmerized, showing a little bit more of her skills as a navigator, and explain to Luffy about, the scenery, like the smoke and mirrors, the glass cottons and all that stuff, making it look like the illusion that it goes on forever, but it doesn't. And I like how the other Straw Hats are able to deduce, like, okay, this room is like regular for giants, small for us. I mean, well, huge for them. And what the mirrors do to make it look like it's going on forever. And Nami just talking about how makes sense about if they will reach the end in no time. They just have to keep going straight. So just simplifying that bit for Luffy, pointing out that they're trying to technically halfway across this kingdom, if you will. Anyway, the sun god saying, like, I see that you have seen the schematics, and now and that and have figured out what this world is, pretty much, saying that Brigo's like saying that this was originally a holding cell for giants, so we get an idea for this room, as he turns his sort of spear thing into a net, surprising Zoro, but Sanji's kind of like, he's talking a bit like, pointing out he's talking a bit like a samurai. And then he goes on about how the sun god then goes about how it was built to prevent giants from escaping. It matters not if you reach the wall, but you'll never break through. There's only a dead end. Laughing, going like D foo foo foo, having the net catch the cat, but with Luffy carrying at the cat, saying you're supposed to dodge that. He was just probably just meowing, probably annoyed actually at Luffy. Let's see. The residents of this cage room going like, what happened to Lord Iskat, and confused at who's riding them. We get Sanji and Zoro doing their signature bring out sword and preparing frame kick, as they both say just keep moving, and they break free and the cat pounces out with sorry about that. With the sun god being shocked that they broke through the metal wire, and saying no matter how cruel and violent Ear God awaits them ahead, and goes like, the citizen said, Almighty Sun God, we have some bad news about the Ear God, as he learns that let's say tell him it was mysteriously burned to death. Let's see, earlier today, the sight was heartbreaking, and thinking it was a bit ominous. And talk about how it all happened before the bizarre cracks appear in the sky, saying it's an accursed day. The sun god now is shocked that they defeated it, thinking how it's impossible as it was a vicious carnivorous rabbit. As we see its skull, we see a bit more sharp teeth, and then we see a bit of a flashback of what it actually looked like before it was eaten, as he goes like, my Galata bunny, as we see a sort of like let's see, looks more like a vicious cat or maybe a dog, but with rabbit ears and a helmet, really. Doesn't really look much like a bunny. I suppose that's the kind of the point if it's a man-eating bunny. Let's see, the sun god silent for a bit as the citizen tries to say it. They just found it like that. They did nothing to do with it, but the sun god laughs, saying how it's wonderful, saying how this too is how the world works, saying a story without a script or holding before his little garden. And he goes like, I underestimate the Straw Hats and that they are more exciting after all. And figured that now the world I created has developed its own evil and its own heroes. As he goes like, history is being written before his eyes. They're saying that this is the child of my little live dolls, the mini world that belongs only to him. With the citizens thinking like, this is now our only this might be the only chance. As they point out, the way out is open to us. As they all say, let's flee where we can until the others, let's see, tell all the others. So, until they actually know that they're actually trapped inside a sort of room. Luffy's confused what the sun god's laughing about, as the sun god now says, now dance and struggle in my palm, saying how Hyurin may have accepted you, but I do not, so what is your move? As Usopp prepares a Green Star attack, but I'm just going to give my thoughts on the chapter here. Okay, interesting hearing this part of the chapter. We learn a bit more about the sun god's weapon. It turns out to be a net, and apparently this cell bit room here is actually supposed to be a place that's supposed to hold giants. So frankly, it's supposed to be a little prison thing for giants, even though arguably it can capture a bunch of prisoners. But interesting enough, Sanji does make an observation that this guy is talking like a samurai, hinting that he's sort of doing a bit of a role play, if you will. So it seems like this giant seems to be a samurai. Let's see, sun god seems to be a samurai fanboy. But I do like how the giant does actually end up catching the cat, even though Luffy complains like, "Hey, you're supposed to dodge that," because it's like this guy's a skilled catcher. But I do like how easily Zoro and Sanji working together are able to break it. But I do like how he seems to be a bit, let's see, cocky and thinking the rabbit god will, or the ear god will eat them, but not but only to be like informed that his rabbit has been devoured by the Straw Hats, thinking like as the citizens go about how it's a more cursed day, just like thinking how that was the first sign of anomalous chaos. I do like how the Sun God is a bit shocked by this, thinking possibly fondly of his rabbit. Let's see, as he calls. Well, actually, it says that was a vicious rabbit. But let's see. But it's like But I do like how instead of being fully mad, he's getting excited, thinking that this is some sort of like adventure story being written before his eyes, heroes and villains being created, and that he's arguably underestimated the Straw Hats, and that he now has and that he's determined to try and capture the Straw Hats. Now showing that he's despite his excitement about what's going on, he is now determined to prevent the Straw Hats from escaping. Now, interesting, it turns out the citizens might know they're trapped inside some sort of mirror room, and they realize with the Sun God pursuing the Straw Hats, they might actually try to escape. So, yeah, they might actually escape. Will they succeed? I think most likely, as I do think they will most likely try and escape while the Sun God's is distracted with the Straw Hats. Now, will they actually escape remains to be seen, but I think the Sun God's going to be occupied for the very least, and we do know that they have some self-awareness of this room, even though they do talk about like, oh, the sky is burning, it's the end of the world kind of thing. But interesting as the Straw Hats are just casually just observing the giant, just laughing, saying what he's laughing about. They just seem so calm because it goes to show you how much of a Yonko crew they are now, as they don't fear this like giant sun god capturing them. But interesting enough, with like the name, let's see, it's revealed that the sun god knows Hadrunan, so it's obviously now hinting instead of like maybe a sun god, like maybe not a holy knight that some suspected, like the Skull one from the God Valley flashback. This is actually someone connected to the giants, and particularly the new giant warrior pirates, particularly Hadrunan. Let's see, so this is like the first hint of the Sun God's identity of this chapter. Anyway, I do like how, let's see, and then we go, anyway, but that's pretty much what I have to say on that bit. But we get Usopp trying to do a special attack Green Star, causing a massive skull explosion. Let's see, shocking, like, it kind of pushes back the Sun God giant a bit, and shocking some people about how damaged it was. But actually, despite how powerful that attack was, it only really broke a mirror. With like Usopp saying no good, talking about how no good it was, but also trying to say that Wall is really tough. But Luffy goes like, "Okay, I got this one." Let's see. Anyway, the Sun God just continues to laughing, saying this pleases him and all that, thinking like helpless doors fighting against the fate, best story ever. Saying part of the world is despair and hopelessness, and the part of history is defeat, and the part of history is defeat and disappointment. So he's going on about that as well. Going about how the tragic folly of the weak and yet the so brave Real Turjuk is saying he's so glad to have them all in his collection, saying the ultra rare Luffy, ultra rare Zoro, let's see, the ultra rare Nami, doing a little love heart thing with that, hinting perhaps maybe some perfect thoughts to Nami, the ultra Usopp, let's see, Nami realizes, wait, how does he know who we are? Going like the ultra rare Sanji, the ultra rare Chopper, and Chopper goes like, what does he mean by ultra rare? But hold on. I think one thing to notice of that is the fact that let's see. I'm just going to quickly mention the ultra rare bit here. I think depending on the Japan translations, it's supposed to be let's see. Oops. Oh yeah, I forgot. Wait, have I forgotten? No, I haven't forgotten one thing. But yeah, he goes on about how ultra rare they are. I think let's see, in the Japan translation, it's supposed to be some sort of taro thing, and I think that's supposed to be some ota let's see, in otaku's sort of like fanboys kind of like term for like certain collections, I guess. I mean, I don't quite let's see remember the actual translation because I'm reading the Viz one, but they've gone ultra rare, kind of like how geeks would go like, oh, that let's see comic is ultra rare. Ooh, that action figure is open ultra rare. Do not open the box. You know, that kind of like sort of mentality. So it's giving him more hints that he's a bit of a fanboy, if you will. Anyway, Luffy goes about go like saying it's time to bust open a hole using a sort of mini gear 4 where it's only on his arm as he prepares to punch the let's see wall as they're riding on the cat. Nami goes like, hey Usopp, natural disasters aren't anyone's fault, right? Let's see, Usopp going like, sure, earthquakes, floods, and lightning, you can't blame those on anybody. Let's see. But Nami is then just going like in a more pouty face saying, well, I think we've been through plenty enough tear for one day. Talk about how she's sick of this guy. This was saying, I get it, but we don't want to anger this giant. But Sanji's getting all teary eyes, saying, I know how you feel, Nami. I feel the same rage towards this jerk. Just can't get over the thought of my mind of him changing your clothes. But Nami is just being a bit more, let's see, puzzled, or perhaps like just how Sanji's reacting, though. To be fair, I think it's pretty much hinting that Nami's now just realized what this giant has actually done with her. Now, granted, Sanji is just not that better. But he goes on about how I won't rest until I crush him to bits with my foot. But one of the other Straw Hats say you mustn't do that, Sanji. Let's see, but let's see. Nami says, I wouldn't really worry though. He'll get his divine retribution. As we then cut to like a bit of a flashback where we see like this vulture or hawk or let's see, or maybe giant crow. Let's see, called Migigan, saying, "What have you brought him this time?" And he goes as he realizes that's the Straw Hat crew, and we learn that this giant, that the Sun God, is none other than a member of Hiruden's new giant pirates crew. Road, the sort of long-haired one, going like let's see, being a bit shocked by realizing it's the Straw Hat crew. Think about how the giant pirates were sailing out to escort them back, as the Straw Hats are just all shown to still be sleepy from all the alcohol they drank last time. And he realizes that they don't realize what happened, then thinking they're all seem deep asleep. Wondering if they passed through the sleeping mist en route to Egghead. And he thinks back to like when he called Hidruden insane, saying not at all, arguably because he decided to become a subordinate of Luffy's. I don't know how come he didn't react when I guess he became subordinate to Buggy, unless he has a higher standards for Buggy. Or perhaps he just thought that was more of a work for hire basis. But anyway. Let's see, Road goes like, Tifu Fufa. When I heard that Hidruden had cast aside his dignity and become his henchman, he was furious, saying that, does that make me, as a member of the new giant pirates, a henchman too? Going like how an almighty war above, subservient to some tiny human, thinking he has no prize. The Straw Hats are all lined up, and as he gets all fanboy a bit about saying, look at this tiny frail figure, but he gets all pervy with the Nami figure going like, but Nami here, dee foo foo foo. She's my Oshi, which I think it's some sort of like otaku sort of Japanese doll kind of thing, but I'm not really sure. I don't really know the terms, but let's see. He realizes that Nami's turning and tries to spray them all with like we see what appears to be some sleeping gas, thinking how they need them all to get back to sleep. And when they woke up again, dee foo foo. as he wants to probably just try and roleplay them as his prisoners. As he goes on back to the actual main bit of the chapter, we go like saying, "You simply go missing to the rest of the world. Instead, you'll be stuck here with me, struggling to go free, and I will not serve you. You will serve me." Sort of like going in the reverse role of what happened last chapter. But let's see, he just realizes that a giant cloud in the sky, as its Nami has summoned Zeus. And oops. One second there. So I accidentally turned on my TV. I'm just trying to turn it back off. There we go. As let's see, she says, "Are you ready, Susan?" He says, "I'm positively cracking Nami." He's confused, saying about how he never made such a giant cloud. As Nami swings Zeus down, causing a lightning blast, sapping the giant, damaging him, shocking the citizens that the sun god seems to have been damaged, possibly defeated. As Luffy goes like using his Gear 4, saying, "I hate to leave, but we gotta go." Saying so long to Kingdom of Blocks, going gum gum. So comes outside at last. Let's see, Sanji goes like, "Take that, you giant pervert." And Usopp praying, saying, "Please let it be Elbaf outside." Chopper just quiet. Nami's just smiling at Zeus is back in the pod. Luffy's just smiling. The cat just meowing angrily as Luffy does the Kong gun with his mini Gear 4. Going like, "Yeah." And they go like how we're outside with Luffy smiling at the end, ending the chapter at that part there. Okay, thoughts on this bit. I do like how Usopp's Green Blast does do a bit does do that massive explosion with a giant skull, and you can tell it's a very powerful attack. Now, granted, it's not powerful enough to break through the walls; it's only powerful enough to break through the mirror. But I think this is fine, as I think since this arc is very heavily focused on Usopp's it'll be hopefully a very heavily focused Usopp character growth moment. I'm hoping that means that let's see, this little like Usopp not doing like the best as he should be as a member of the Yonko crew will eventually start stepping up and arguably hopefully eventually doing well, that he can actually be a true, actually can do quite a bit of fair share of damage against like the pirate crews ship it, to be quite enough damage that he will eventually be able to destroy something like a wall, proving himself to be a bit of a straw hat, if you will. So I do like that, but I do like how Luffy's like saying, even though Usopp is a bit sad, a bit upset that he was unable to destroy the wall, but Luffy says, "No problem, I can do this." But yeah. Let's see. Anyway, we get more of this. I do like how we get the Sun God talking, getting more excited over the idea of despair and doom, heroes fighting against a villain, if you will. Trying to go like history is a part of disappointment, defeat. And but let's see. But the more he goes on this collection, we end up learning that he is a bit of a more of a geeky fanboy, using the term ultra or Taru, depending on which country and translation you hear, as he's being a bit all geeky. I do like how when he starts bringing up their names, Nami starts kicking. It's like, okay, how do you know what we are? But anyway, but other than that, I do like how we see Luffy doing a sort of mini Gear 4, sort of like just doing the arm thing. So he's now advanced his abilities with Gear 4 so much that he can only use it for certain body parts rather than just the whole body. Granted, I wouldn't be surprised if that means Gear 3 and maybe to some extent Gear 2 are no longer used now, which might upset some people. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see whether or not Oda will ever bring that stuff back. But I think when you've got like the Sun God powers to make you do like stuff Gear 3 could do, but on like a more larger scale, I can see why Gear 3 may never come back into the story. But anyway, but yeah. I do like how Nami's just first checking that natural disasters aren't anyone's fault, as he goes like going on about earthquakes and floods and all that stuff. as we start to see Nami getting a bit annoyed and all that. So yeah, arguably this is the only bit of the chapter I'm iffy is the fact that let's see, granted, let's see, Nami's realized that okay, I've kind of been like let's see, someone has probably arguably violated by changing her into clothes without her consent, and you got Sanji crying about it. So let's see, Sanji just crying, I can't blame you, Nami. I'm furious about someone trying to change your clothes and all that stuff. Thinking that and going perhaps a bit too far in his reaction, but it's just like, okay, like on one hand, yeah, you should be mad that someone let's see, dressed you all up without your consent. No, I think, Sanji, you're being a bit pervy towards Nami yourself there. But that's just me. But then again, that's just Sanji's character, really. But I do like how Nami is like saying that let's see, yeah, it doesn't Shinwai, he'll get his divine retribution. In other words, she using Zeus on the guy. So, yeah. Well, granted, now that we know that this guy is a member of the New Giant Warrior Pirates, he's supposed to be one of the subordinate. Let's see, I think Sanji might end up kicking him in the face down the line later, especially if the one's learning all the stuff about what he did to Nami. So, let's see, and the others went on dressing. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Road gets his face kicked by Sanji down the line in this arc, but yeah. But anyway, I do like how we get an explanation on like how, let's see, the Straw Hats arrived here. It's like they've got they're picked up by a giant raven who picked up the Thousand Sunny with like the Alabaster 6 in there and all that stuff. And it turns out we got the revelation that Road is actually the sun god, which, to be fair, I don't think anyone kind of expected this character to be the one to kidnap the Straw Hats and set them in a prison Lego Island. I think no one actually saw this coming. I think when he thought, I'm not sure who people thought. I mean, I know some thought like he might actually like me, I guess, and Mr. Morge that, okay, this guy might actually be like a member of the Holy Knights, but nope, it's actually just a member of Julian's crew. So yeah. So yeah, and who has just happened to find the Straw Hats and pick them up to play as dolls. Though granted, I do like how he just says like, okay, what's going on? The giant pirates are supposed to bring them here and sleep, wondering if they've gone through like this sleeping mists. But we also learn a bit about his character thing here. He seems to hold quite a lot of pride in that of a giant, and the fact that his captain declared them to be subordinate to Straw Hat Luffy was a bit of an insult to him, and he did not want to accept this. So it seems like he's planning his own. I'm not sure if he's gone rogue here or not. Like at the very least, he's left the crew, or at the very least, he's going rogue here and arguably attacking like the senior captain of the Grand Fleet that he's a part of. So in a sense, he's sort of rebellion. So, but yeah, so it probably means that Luffy and the others, as like a Yonko crew, probably need to teach him a little bit of a lesson, saying, you don't mess with us if you're one of our underlings. But even though Luffy probably doesn't necessarily see it that way, but I can see probably, let's see, Sanji using that kind of thing as an excuse to have him beat up this giant down the line, if he does get a chance to beat him up. But yeah. But yeah, it is just interesting to learn that Road seems to be a bit of a otaku geek, if you will, collecting like collecting all sorts of figure-like things. Though unfortunately, the figures are like actual humans, so it seems like a bit of a dark side there. And we also unfortunately get the only other bit of the chapter I don't like. It's revealed that this guy Road is a bit of a pervert, given how he's reacting to like Nami being unconscious, and then go like, "Ooh, my sweet Nami." Now, granted, which of course, since he's like, since Nami has her clothes changed, that does kind of imply that he did take them off. So it's like, yeah, I can see why Nami would be furious, and to an extent, yeah, even Sanji. Though, I do like how panicky he gets when the Straw Hats start to wake up and thinking about how, let's see, how the Straw Hats, let's see, are trying to wake up. He tries to put them in sleep gas again. But I do like how he tries to use this plan, saying about how, let's see, you lot will just simply disappear for the rest of the world. Let's see, saying that they'll be disappeared from the rest of the big world, but going like how they'll be stuck here inside with him, getting a bit chaotic, but he's like showing a bit of that sort of pride I mentioned earlier when it came to Julian affecting let's see, kind of claiming himself subordinate to the Straw Hats. He's like saying, I'm not going to be the servants of you or the servants of you. You're not going to be the servants of him, thinking that he can try and take out the Straw Hat and and have his own sort of like major dominance, if you will. But I think he's gotten a bit way too cocky and really starting to like underestimate just how strong the Straw Hats are. Really, that they've done this so many times. And the one thing I will say I like about this chapter is the fact that Nami ended up using Zeus to like shoot him with a bolt of lightning, sort of getting her payback on possibly whatever Road end up doing. Though granted, I am curious to see once they realize that he's part of Hiduden's crew, if they will just get granted, I fully said this earlier, I might have forgotten, but how the Straw Hats will react that this was supposed to be one of their subordinates, but yeah. But I do like how shocked the citizens are that the Sun God's been damaged for so long. I do like how Luffy's able to break the wall with his gun thing and saying that, and also apologizing to say bye-bye to the Block Kingdom. But I do like how you get a little of the panels of like each of the Straw Hats so glad that they're out at last. To see Sanji smiling at the giant perf got struck by his beloved Nami. Usopp praying that this is hopefully a bath. Chopper's just staring on. Nami just smiling at Zeus, so I do like that part, and Luffy's just smiling because he destroyed the wall, and now they're outside, so they've pretty much escaped and dealt with the first, obstacle of the chapter. So, yeah. Juden is arguably just like the sort of warm-up opponent that the Straw Hats were facing, as it always ends up being some sort of like warm-up monster or even minor foe that the Straw Hats could arguably be easily defeat. I think it's just that as a result, that's probably why you only have the Straw Hat 6, like from Alabasta one end, and the additional ones down the line later. But yeah, I think that's worked well for like these first few chapters of setting up sort of like like a sort of like warm-up opponents for the Straw Hat, and arguably at this point there, since they're a younger crew, a giant of this caliber would not really stand a chance against them if they weren't just holding back or just like admiring like the Lego craftsmanship, if you will. So yeah. Overall, I think I'll give this like an 8 out of 10. I do like the sort of twists and turns we get here. We learn particularly like the Sun God that we fought from like the last of 1 or 2 chapters is actually Road, a member of like Hiduden's Beast Pirates, so who did not agree to like see his captain becoming subordinate to them, but and instead started his own sort of like private personal crusade with like 1 or 2 of the Doctor Who companions, and is now oh, and I was trying to think, what was I going to say? Sorry, I've just lost my train of thought there. Oh, yeah, but Rhodes is like thinking that, let's see, he'll show the world his giant superiority against humans and all that stuff, but only to get defeated by Nami. You get a few funny interactions between Luffy and the cat, telling the cat to, like, scolding the cat whenever it breaks something that gets caught by a net. So, yeah, that's that. So, granted, this is more focused on, I guess you could say, Nami, which, okay, I do not like the fact that you might have got the implications of what the giant Etsy may have done to undress Nami, and just Sanji reacting to that as well. But I will say to give credit to, like, Nami taking payback against this aggressor using her lightning bolt to take down the enemy forces and even destroying one of their more vital, like the operations from the, I guess, 80s cartoon. No, I don't think I saw that episode. So yeah. I do like how he's just seemed to get excited when he's learned that the Straw Hats managed to escape, cause a bit of damage. They also killed his rabbit guard and took control of his cat. So I do like that. I also like how we learn that Gear 4 has now become used like a sort of Gear 3 can. So as a way of showing Gear 4 being used more seriously from now on, I guess. As the Sun God look is going to make it Luffy a lot more silly and goofy. But yeah, and I do like how the Straw Hats have practically managed to end up, escaping by the end of the chapter. Luffy's strong enough to do so. So yeah, they managed to escape despite the Giant's protests about how they'll only just be his prisoners from now on. Now whether or not this will change Road's perspective, who knows? But I do think he's probably going to get in trouble with like the new Giant Warrior pirates down the line. But yeah, overall I give this chapter sort of like an 8 out of 9 out of 10. I think this is all I have to say, or at least all I can remember saying. I'm starting to get a bit tired, and I'm not thinking straight, so I'm going to head off now. For those who end up listening to this stream, I hope you enjoyed what I just say, and I'll see you next time as we discuss chapter 1130 during the course of this 2-week break. So yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Chat later.